I'm curious, if I get inside, will it drive me there? Or do I have to run behind it? I'm gonna try and get inside. Oh my God. Whoops. All right, so driving in this game is dangerous. That's all I gotta say. Driving this game, wow, does it know? Holy crap, wow. It did not want me to, so don't ride inside. That's not a good idea. This little tractor is a lot stronger than you might think. If you look around right now, you'll see that we've got our doggo daycare down below. We got the information booth right here. And we are standing where the biomass burners used to be. That's right, used to. Because right now, we've replaced them with battery storage. So we had such great success with the battery storage that I kind of figured I'm not really utilizing the biomass burners. And quite frankly, I could probably use a little bit more storage for the solid biofuel, because in the far future, I'd really like to actually be able to utilize liquid biofuel for the first time. If you look inside, we've got a full industrial storage bin filled with solid biofuel now. And we've even got a whole bunch of backed up production down below, so we've got plenty to work with. And now we have a total of 2,000 megawatt hour of charge, so that we've got some buffer so that we're not in a bad situation again. We are basically all the way through our research up until this point on the hub, so there's nothing we can really do until we actually complete phase 2, and we haven't really made too much progress towards that end other than just the smart plating. So I'd really like to get us started on that progress today. I've gone through pretty much every storage bin, all of the double greens right here, and upgraded them to industrial, the industrial sized ones. So now they've got 48 slots, I believe. And then almost all of them actually have the dimensional depots on top as well. So they're constantly keeping themselves topped off. Over on the left, it looks a lot clearer because I've actually gotten rid of the Caterium bridge, because now with the dimensional depot and now with the Nobelisks, we can clear out all of that poison. And in the distance, I actually have a self-contained quick wire production along with a dimensional depot, and we don't really have to worry about passing it all over here, and that leaves us a lot of extra space. You'll see that I've actually rerouted our modular frames, because in order to work towards phase 2, I'd really like to get a move on with that, and it's going to take modular frames, and it's going to take some steel beams. So we have a little bit passing through, but not too much. We've basically got a couple of assemblers, and we're doing something a little bit different with them. If you look inside, I've actually taken the summer sloop and for the first time put those into the output, so it's doubling the output. It has a massive draw in terms of power, but overall a massive increase to our productivity. So we've got 2 assemblers pumping out versatile framework. You can see all the purple out here with the summer sloops in them. That's 4 summer sloops, and we're slamming out 20 versatile framework per minute. But we're gonna run out of steel. I just hand fed it to this apparatus, and we're gonna run out of steel pretty rapidly, because guess what? There is none right here. You can see that I've kind of preemptively set up a truck station right here. I've been messing around with some of the, I guess, decals and stuff in the customizer. I've utilized a little bit of gloss so we don't lose this beautiful flow of a river down below. So I'm really happy that we've got the glass framework overall, and the only thing missing is honestly the vehicle, right? So if we go over to our map, you'll see that in the upper right hand corner, our steel production is way up here. We are down here with our docking station, and I've actually set up another one over here because I also wanted to make a black powder facility. So that means we're going to need 2 different vehicles to move steel pipes to the docking station in order to help us with the Nobelisks with our black powder outpost. And we're also going to need a vehicle to move steel beams down to where we are right now so that we can actually move forward on the space elevator progress. I think we should probably prioritize the space elevator progress, but we can kind of do a little bit of both at the same time, and I think it's going to be pretty awesome. I guess the first thing is to actually get a tractor. So I've only ever built this once. Picks up and delivers resources at truck stations. This process can be automated, nicknamed the Sugar Cube by Fix-It pioneers with a justification. It's pretty sweet, you know. Has 25 inventory slots and a built-in crafting bench. So here it is. It is a box.
Tractors can use any type of fuel and have a self-driving feature, much like Pioneers, only more reliable. While driving, you can record a path to automate vehicle resource transportation. Unlike early self-driving vehicles, tractors will not spy on you. Your employee data is already fully subject to other means of surveillance.
Oh, that's lovely. Well, awesome. Love it. So here I am. I'm taking the solid biofuel. I'm going to toss that in. And then we're just going to drive on out to maybe get over to where the steel beams are. And then we'll kind of suss things out from there. So let's get in the tractor. Look at us. It has a really nice turning radius. It's kind of blowing my mind. And I love how we match the tractor. It's actually relatively quick. I don't remember it being this fast. I always thought it was a bit of a trundling beast, but I gotta say, I'm rather impressed. It's kind of nuts. So we're gonna go ahead and take the route that we normally do. The nice thing about being in the vehicle is we're not really susceptible to a lot of the denizens of this arena that we occupy. Oh, right. I never took this down. I mean, I guess we could leave this here. So I built this in the last episode. I forgot I did this. I built this in the last episode for the lizard doggo, but you know what? Let's just extend it so it's a little bit wider, and that kind of works out for us. So we got ourselves a little bit of a bridge. Not absolutely perfect, but it works. It's functional. And then we'll break on over to the left, kind of getting an idea while we're driving back to the steel factory, just so that we understand what it is that we're going to automate, because at some point we have to drive this for real and record it, and then essentially have the tractor do it by itself. And I want it to be as easy as possible, because I doubt it's, necessarily going to be perfect. So that means that this path shouldn't have a lot of stuff in the way for it, and then hopefully it'll be very, very efficient. And we have arrived. So we've got more of our battery storage. We got our new 32 coal generator facility over there. Just watch out we don't hit the kookaburra. And we can even pass right under. And here is our destination. So I'm curious, how much fuel did we use? We had a full stack of 200 solid biofuel. We're down to 189, right? So I haven't tried this with coal. I think that'll be a very interesting test, and we'll have to check that out. So I've made some adjustments here. It's all very rapid, all very, very messy, but I've done some things so that we can increase our output. Basically, we've got ourselves 5 different foundries processing ingots, and I've increased all of the miners to Mark IIs so that we double the output. So we've got 240 iron coming in and 240 coal coming in. This one right here is overclocked because I ran out of a little space. I prefer to just build a 6th one, but for now it is what it is. It moves 240 ingots through. 2 constructors create steel beams for 30 per minute. And then we've actually gone pretty hard on all of the steel pipes, and that's being done with an alternate recipe. I was lucky enough to stumble across molded steel pipe. So that has an output of 50 per minute. So it's processing 120 steel ingots along with a concrete. I was kind of saving all this concrete for use to make encased steel beams or industrial beams. But in this case, this is what we're using it for. We're cramming in a bunch of concrete and then turning it into steel pipes. So the steel pipes come out at 120 per minute. They're just flying through and then sinking out because we have nowhere to put them. Well, we will have somewhere to put them very, very soon. We just have to figure out how to do this. So I think the thing I'm worried about, and I don't know if I'll worry about it right now, is that if we've got 2 vehicles going at the same time to do this route, then they might collide with each other. So originally I had the idea that maybe we would take the steel beams and keep them on this side, and then we would have the steel pipes come out this side, and then you'll have 2 different docking stations, and they'll enter and exit from 2 different locations to avoid conflict. But I think at this point I'm just going to make 2 docking stations over here just because it's already wired up, and then we'll see what happens. I'll probably want to break down the dimensional depots right here so that I have a solid throughput. And then I'm going to want to put down a truck station. I'd really like it if I could give... Well, I guess I was going to say I'd really like it if I could get the truck station to actually sit flush back here, because it gives more turning room for any sort of vehicles coming through. as they stop and then pick up the goods. But now that I'm looking at it, look at this tractor's turning radius. It's not horrible. It's actually pretty good. So you can make a turn like this, and I think it's not a problem. So if the truck station sticks out a little bit, let's say maybe we just shove things back a little bit, I think we're going to be okay. I don't think it's going to be too bad. Tell you what, maybe we tear down these walls right here, and then we'll just need to change a little bit of maybe the direction of the containers or something like that. Let's see how far back it nestles if we put the truck station right here, right? So we'll kind of just toss this here temporarily. And there's the truck station, right? So if we go ahead and mark the pickup zone, put full factory zone, and we'll just say it's something like that, then yeah, we've got a decent turning radius, yeah? Maybe I'll shift this over just a tad so it actually lines up a little better. There she is. How about that? Perfect. And then it's just a matter of hooking that up, and it takes 20 megawatt and it's good to go. The big thing is, you're going to want to provide fuel, and you're going to want to provide the goods themselves. So it needs to pick up, right? So we're going to go ahead and be in a loading procedure, and then we're going to want to make sure that we pass the correct goods to the correct place. Maybe I'm actually going to get rid of these containers for now, and then we'll figure out a storage solution later, and we'll just sort of reroute. So this one right here could be our steel pipe just because it's closest. So essentially, and I'm just going to go ahead and get a container. I do this every once in a while, just build 2, because I'm going to have way too much overflow for my inventory. So just to clear the way, I'll go ahead and just grab that and then toss it into a container temporarily, and then we'll do a little something similar with the beams. So let's go ahead and make another truck station. This one's going to be for the beams. We'll give it a little bit more space. We'll do that. And then we'll just have, I'm just going to put one zone down here, or maybe we'll do that, and then I'll shift it over. And then that way the paths themselves are a little bit unique, right? So we'll do that. There we go. All we got to do is just snake over to the right, cut over. It's like dirty and ugly, and one day we'll fix this. And we'll go ahead and hook that in. There we go. So that has power. And then essentially we're going to do the same thing with our pipes, like so. So that should throw a bunch of pipes in there, and we'll go ahead and just pre-fill these things, right? So we've got a bunch of pipes here. We've got a bunch of beams here. In a way, we've gained storage now, so it shouldn't be sinking things right now because we've actually doubled our storage capacity. So that's actually it's actually kind of awesome. We'll just grab a couple right here, and then we'll do the same with all the beams, and we'll bring them on over and fill that, and we'll grab a couple. Okay, perfect. So we've got load. It's set to load, and this is set to load. If there's anything that I'd want to do, it's also pass some fuel. Now, we do have coal here, so that shouldn't be too difficult. We can actually delete these now because they're properly loaded. So right now our tractor's yellow. So let's go ahead and make, if the tractor's going to be bringing beams, let's go in and make the station itself a similar color scheme just so we can keep it kind of in order. So these are the beams. There's the tractor. Tractor's going to grab the beams, right? And then as far as fuel goes, if we increase the output here of coal, then maybe we can route some coal, like split it off and route some coal over to these different stations. And it doesn't have to be very much, right? Right now, this is outputting at 120 per minute. So it would just take a little bit of an overclock in order to give it a little bit extra. It doesn't need to be that much. So unfortunately, it seems to scale with our overclocking, how much power we're going to draw. Right now, we're drawing 15 megawatt. So if we toss in one and we just boost that, let's say, I mean, that's quite a bit. That's quite a bit. That's quite a bit. That'll definitely overload the belt. Let me think. Right now we've got 2 at 240. We can handle another 30 on the throughput when they merge. And what I'm talking about is our belt Mark 3s actually handle up to 270 per minute, right? and we're utilizing 240, so we can get another 30 out of it. So if we wanted to, we can actually max out at 150, because 150 plus 120 is 270. So maybe we'll do that, and then we'll go 15 and 15 to the different stations right here. Basically, you have 150 on the top, 120 in the second rank. These come together, merge, and then feed through one single port. I actually changed it. Last time we had 3 different ports. I found it a lot easier to maneuver with 2. So right now, this is at max capacity on this belt right now, and it's supplying too much for this for the foundries at hand. So if we take, this is a conveyor merger, which I don't know if we need a merger here. I think this is left over from last time, actually. So what we can do is actually get a splitter, right? So I'm gonna cut this, and if we go like this, smart splitter, like so, and then we pass in the 270. At some point, it's going to experience an overload, right? So if we can figure out how to give it a little bit of room, maybe we'll come up this side and then pass it over. So we'll say lift mark 1, and then we'll send it straight across, yeah? Like this. This is getting kind of messy. Yep, that's going to go through in it. So we might have to turn it. So what I mean is something like that. And at most, we're going to be passing over 30, right? How in line are we? I mean, we could do something like that. And then put a splitter on it. And then try to receive like this. Hopefully this is going to work. I'm not too sure. It's kind of wonky. This is like the messiest factory right now. Is anything going to peel off is the question. We just need to designate that the right side is overflow, and then everything else is just gonna go through, right? Or actually, I'm just gonna say it's gonna be coal, right? It doesn't need to be, but we'll do it. So the right's gonna be overflow, which means some should eventually flow through. Well, let's pretend like it will, and then we're just gonna go ahead and set an input for the other one as well. And we'll say reverse, same thing. And we will face forward, have the splitter, and receive from the other, like that. Now, it doesn't need to be a lot. Oh, there we go, there we go. Some's coming through now. That's perfect. And then it will split this half and half, right? Look at that. It's not super fast. Maybe we'll change it to the Mark III just because. And now how we're doing. There we go. Okay, so slow trickle. So now we are acquiring some coal down here, and that's just excellent. So it's not a lot, but it's something. It's something. And that means that this tractor is going to get a little bit of fuel. I'm just not too sure how it performs on the coal. So what we're going to have to do now is actually record a path that will take us from here to the destination and back again. I'm going to start in the docking position right here. And we don't have anything in our inventory right now, so I'm just going to hit Q, and we're going to start a recording. So I'm going to hit Q to open record menu, and then we'll say start recording, and then we'll close that menu. I'll hit F to load cargo into the tractor. I'm not too sure how that works. I guess that counts as we're loaded, and now we should be good. So I'm going to go in and turn. And then just try to drive as if... Oh, I guess I'll go to the right here. Because we'll say that you'll enter on the right and you'll exit on your right when you're coming out. So we'll just stick to the right as much as possible to avoid collisions. And I'll just try to remember that we want to stay to the right of obstructions. And I just need to remember to drive towards the space elevator without crashing or doing any sort of thing that's too weird. That's the big caveat. Do not do things that are too weird or dangerous. Just try to be efficient is my guess. I sure hope this works. And we're gonna go onto our bridge. We built a little tiny ramp for this purpose. And off we go, trying to avoid hitting rocks. But the tractor seems to be rather robust, actually. Suspension actually works pretty well, so we're not like flying all over the place. It's excellent. And that means we are almost home. We just gotta slow it down, turn in. Yeah, a little bit of air there. I really gotta move that Explorer. And we are arriving, so we should be able to drop off our steel beams. Gosh, I hope this works. And F. So now we should be dumping off steel beams. And now we're going to drive as if we're going to go in and pick up another load. And we're just going to want to stick to the right if possible. And as soon as we complete our recording loop, meaning we've reached the point that we actually started from, then in theory, our records are complete. I think the big important thing with a loop like this one, because we're treading over similar ground, is that we do not have multiple vehicles running on this route. Or I have a feeling they're going to smack into each other. I'm going to try to keep that in mind when we do our next vehicle recording run. We started at 189 solid biofuel. Obviously, we're going to be refueling on coal, so it's not quite the same, but... And then we're going to stick to the right side and then reach the starting point again. And there we go. And we shall load once again. Let's save the path. We'll hit R, and we're going to call it steel beams to space elevator. Yeah? And then we'll say save. There we go. Path saved and selected. Path has now been, I think, filed or something like that. Let's go ahead and get on out. I do want to see if it completely loaded this thing, so we'll go to the back. And we are down to 167 out of 189. We did get some steel beams. Not a lot. If I'm perfectly honest. Not a lot. Why is that? Did we take everything? Oh, you know what? I bet we took so much steel over that currently it has everything. Like it's still trying to fill with a 30 per minute. Let's go in and try to get it to run. We'll enable the autopilot. And do we need to choose a path? Load a path. Okay, load this path. Steel beams to space elevator. Load the path. Maybe? Autopilot is now enabled. Okay, well, let's try to get out. Oh, there we go. Oh, odd. I guess if I'm in it, it doesn't want to do it. So let's just follow it around and see what happens. I sure hope this works. It's kind of exciting, but oh my god, almost hit that. Maybe I should get rid of that. I know it won't look as realistic, but it's probably going to be cleaner for our tractor. It's doing a pretty good job. So far, so good. Wow. Not too shabby, little guy. Not too shabby at all. It's doing a pretty good job. The part I'm kind of worried about is when we start to arrive at the space elevator, because there's a bit of uneven ground, and I kind of did a little bit of a hop, and I don't know what it's going to do, if that's going to throw it off at all. But I'm pretty impressed by the AI so far. I did have to clear out a little bit of foliage and stuff like that, but for the most part, it seems to be doing all right. I'm at full sprint, and we're just keeping up with it. We've got a bit of a turn right here when it's starting to head over to our makeshift bridge. I might even move the bridge if it causes too much of a hassle. Look at that. High five. Not bad. Wow. I mean, I'm surprised. It basically moved the entire steel beam load on that first recording route. I really want to take a look at the industrial storage and see how many beams are in there. I have a feeling it's quite full. This is so cool. Holy moly. All right, here's the rough bit. Can you handle it? Can you handle it? Oh, what happens? Oh, he went right through. Okay, perfect. Oh, I didn't move the Explorer. Look at him go. What a guy. What a guy. My guess is when he runs out of fuel, the solid biofuel, then he'll fuel up with the coal. So it's probably good that we've got the solid biofuel. So let's go ahead and take a look right now. Steel beams, we're at, yeah, we brought a lot. 5, 3, we've got 3. And it just dumped off some steel. Did you see that? Oh my gosh. Look at that transfer. Look at that transfer. It's transferring two at once. Incoming transfer rate is 131 items per minute. So it's about the equivalent of moving 131 items per minute. Wow. Even with the travel time. I think what's kind of interesting is that we only have a steel beam creation right now, a rate of 30 per minute. So we're not going to be able to keep up with this. But now that we see what the transfer rate is, then I can kind of keep that in mind. And you look in the upper right hand corner, 252 out of 1,000 versatile frameworks. They're cramming out 20 per minute right now. That's absolutely nutty. So that's just happening in the background. And that's absolutely amazing. I love that. Wow, that was not bad at all. We're going to leave that little guy going and we'll see what happens. Maybe he'll get stuck by the time the episode ends, but hopefully he'll keep running. And if he runs out of fuel, then he's actually going to end up with coal. And then that's going to be enough. Yeah. So let's get into the Explorer. That's our other vehicle. I'm curious about the number of slots, right? So if we look, doesn't have too much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You know what? That's not horrible. What if we, well, let's get in the Explorer and let's move it out of the way first. Hopefully we're not going to drown out the engine. I'm going to try this and go through the water. I'm very surprised. In early access, wow, high five. In early access, the engine would drown out if you just so much as touched water. So that's really great. I would like to show you something. So let's go ahead and take a look at the new route. So this leads to something of a bit of a pet project of mine, the black powder facility, way up high. You can kind of see a little bit of it there because I really wanted to have more nobelisks. So here we are. So this is our docking station. So right now you can see that it has some signs to remind me of what this place is for. And we've got some haphazardly linked up power towers in order for us to get up there more easily. It doesn't really need this specifically for the power, but very, very helpful. And then we've got a nice wide asphalt area with an arrow in the turn. And we've got plenty of room to get on out, right? And upstairs, you can see that we've passed everything's Mark III. So it's all with a 270 throughput right here. This is all coal, so it's all ready to go, ready to fuel whatever is gonna take it. And right now it's set to load mode. I think unload, now that I think about it. Yeah, it should be unload. Vehicle setting is unload because we're gonna unload pipes here, and then it's gonna take the pipes in and then transfer them upstairs. Okay, perfect. Well, let's start by taking a look at what is upstairs. How about that? So you can see I've actually colored the conveyor lifts differently. Green is inbound, and then the sort of fire orange red is outbound with the coal. And here we are. So last time that we came up here in order to find Mercer spheres and everything like that, you can see our base down below. We noticed that there were multiple pure coal nodes right here, which I have a plan for as well. But I also noticed there was some sulfur out here. So I've taken one of the pure coal nodes, and then right now it's stunted because essentially I'm outputting a total of 120 per minute, and then it's being split, 60 of which are going downstairs in order to supply the coal as fuel for all of the incoming vehicles. And then all of the steel pipes will come through here on this Mark III and then run back. So we'll have 60 of the coal heading this way, and then all we really need are, well, ideally we'd have 120 per minute of steel pipes coming this way. This is the black powder outpost right here. I just quickly threw this together, and I actually really like this right here. I used a slanted roof to kind of shield it as we're going through, and then it's piping in all that coal, so that's going to be great. And that comes in and it feeds multiple assemblers right here. So we've got 4 assemblers in order to... I like the bumping into different things. It's got all the sulfur coming in from above, and we're feeding in 60 per minute of coal and 60 per minute of sulfur, and that's being combined into all the black powder. We have 120 per minute of black powder being passed through and sunk out, at least temporarily, because we don't have any sort of production going on without the steel pipes. And then all of that is being stored and sent upstairs, where it's then being passed to more assemblers to combine with the steel pipes, and which come out here. 120 per minute of steel pipes and 120 per minute of the black powder across these 6 assemblers to create 60 per minute nobelisks. That's right, lots and lots of nobelisks. And then that's all gonna combine, merge, and flow out this side, which I'm just gonna unceremoniously open that. We'll just patch that up again. There we go. And then come down a lift into an industrial storage bin and then up into the storage, the dimensional depot. I don't need to carry so many. I'm just I like nobelisks. What can I say? This is what we've done for the sulfur. We've basically built a raised bridge. It's not too far away. This location is kind of in between the impure sulfur nodes and the coal at the edge of our starter base. But I've added some railings so that we can go and inspect and not fall off or anything like that. And essentially, we're just piping it over from one impure node. The impure node right now is overclocked in order to compensate because it's only outputting very little. And then we've got a ladder up there for maintenance, and that's about it. So overall, pretty simple. We're bringing sulfur together with a coal, turning it into black powder. We're taking the black powder, and we just need to combine it with the steel pipes that we will be bringing in by vehicle. And then hopefully that will continue the task of creating nobelisks. I think there will be some overlap of the paths now that I'm thinking about it. I don't know how I'll best keep them as separate as possible, but everything's ready to go. All we need to do is drop off steel pipes, and then in theory this should all work. It should be plug and play. So I'm crossing my fingers inside, and hopefully it's going to work out all right, yeah? Because after all, the nobelisks have allowed us to do so much. You can see so much has been cleared. You can see a lot of poison has been removed. You can see that we've got a lot more dimensional depots, which is a direct result of being able to clear out some baddies, talking about like uranium loaded beasts and variants and stuff like that. So overall, I'm definitely going to look forward to an unlimited supply of nobelisks. And after all, at some point I would like to actually utilize the cluster nobelisks, which uses 3 times as many nobelisks in order to actually, well, make them. I'm gonna go ahead and grab a load of the coal, and then we're gonna go ahead and stick that in, and then we'll drive on over. I'm just curious what that actually looks like for fuel economy. So we stuck in a full load of 100, and we're going to pretend like we just looped around, came out, and we're going to head back the way we came, because we're the only vehicle that is traveling on this route, and we're going to take over to the right, so a different route. Ooh, maybe not over the rocks. I'll keep that in mind. Keep that in mind, and we're going to cut across. Now, we will be utilizing the same exact land ramp. So, like, oh, you can see the tractor, you see what I mean? So maybe we'll just really hug the side and try to tread similar ground that we did before. Oh, this is so cool. There's no one else in the game right now, and we'll go maybe through the water instead, like this, right? And then... That's so cool. See, I'm starting to think maybe I want another tractor instead of the Explorer, because the Explorer's going to outstrip that tractor so quickly. Oh, is the kookaburra in the water? Yeah. So tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to build another, now that I'm thinking about it. Well, first of all, how's the coal doing? Not too bad. It only took 12 to get here, so that's actually pretty good. I'll go ahead and keep the coal on me. And then I'm actually going to build another tractor right here. And then we'll just color it. Maybe we'll do... Well, you know what's really visible? That. Okay. That's pretty visible. Maybe for now. Maybe for now. Oh, and then we need fuel as well, right? Fuel. We're going to put in the coal. How about that? You enjoy that, tractor? All right, we're going. This is the... Oh, watch out, kookaburra. Watch out. Oh, that's a tight one. That is a tight one. I wonder if we're gonna have to do it like a backup or something. Okay, tell you what. Let's just make sure this is painted correctly so it matches. There we go. And now we are going to start a new route, right? So record menu, and we're gonna start the recording. Here we go. Load cargo. So we're gonna take some pipes right now. It's gonna magically appear in the tractor just like that, and we are off. I'm gonna trust that it's there. So tight turn. And we're going to stick to the right side until we can get out of this choke point right here. And then we're going to cut hard left and take a newish route, right? We'll hug left this time. And then now we're kind of traveling on a different path, at least a parallel one, up until this very point. And then we're going to do a hard turn and travel on the outside. There we go. So that's how we're going to run this route. And we're just going to go back and forth over the exact, like, tread over our own footsteps type of thing. Ooh, I went the wrong way. I should have gone up and not down. Well, you know what? This is definitely a different route. This works. I mean, it kind of works. Maybe we'll just clear out some of the foliage. Yeah, it's the new path. Yeah? We don't have to worry about those weird sort of hatchers. This is the better path, actually. Yeah, all according to plan. Love it. Great. And then we're going to just come in, hug the left so we follow the directional arrows that we have laid for ourselves. Slow it down just a tad, just a touch. And let us go. Stop. And unload. High five. All right, halfway there. Excellent. So it is now delivering all of the pipes. Look at that. It's actually sending pipes already? Did I put pipes in? Oh, well, I guess we'll figure that one out. And let's finish the route and we'll come back. Man, I can't believe that first path worked. That's so amazing. That's so awesome. And then maybe we won't go into the water this time. We'll cut left on this one, yeah? I have to admit, I feel a little bit anxious about this whole process because it feels so permanent the way it's recorded, you know? So inside, I really feel the pressure. We got to go through the same choke point. Brake hard right. Hug the right. Don't kill a kookaburra. And slow it down. Ooh, he's taking over our spot. What's he doing? Oh, wow. That is really tight. I don't know how I feel about that. Might need to take that wall down. And there we go. And then I guess we will save the path. So we will call that steel pipes to black powder outpost. How about that? And we'll save that. Excellent. We'll go over to the record menu. We'll load, and we will load the steel pipes path right here. And then we shall enable the autopilot, close it, hop off. I don't know how to make this. Do I just kind of drive it a little bit, kind of fiddle it around and then hop off? There we go. High five. You just got to give it a little bit of a boost. I'm just curious about whether or not it has fuel inside, but I guess if it stops, we'll find out. Maybe we can follow it in our own vehicle, but I'm just going to do the same thing and just verify that it's running the course. And when we get back, the nice thing is we can just head up. Oh, wow. We can just head up and take a look at our pipes being delivered, and hopefully we should be getting Nobelisks. So this is so cool. And I kind of want to take a look at the incoming rate as well, because ideally we would be supplying at 120 per minute, 120 steel beams or steel pipes per minute. And we are actually creating the steel pipes at a rate of 120 per minute. So we've got buffers built in with the industrial storage and the whole processing process. So it'll be interesting to see if we can keep up a relatively consistent rate with this travel time. This is the incredible water route right here just to avoid conflict, obviously. And look at it go. Baby Blue racking in the... Oh boy. Oh, okay. This is why I like being on vehicles. Don't have to fight anybody. And here they go. And again, I don't know if it actually loaded because I'm the one who started this path and I didn't hit F to load the cargo, so maybe it's not dropping anything off, but looking good so far. I would like to follow it. Oh, are we bumping into stuff? Oh, wow. Did it already grab cargo? Well, let's see. There's nothing here. Is it getting fuel? I have no clue. It has 100 fuel right now. That means it definitely got something. And I don't think it had anything to unload. So it definitely fueled up though, because it now is 100 coal in the boot. And it definitely burned coal to get here. I'm gonna guess I'm going back because I want to make sure it'll make it. Now that I recall, you remember when I was pulling in really, really tightly over to the right side during the docking procedure? I'm really scared that it's gonna get stuck. Actually, it's pretty zippy. You'd think tractor, not that fast, but you would be wrong. That thing is pretty darn fast. I'm curious if the different types of fuels have different types of performance out of these vehicles, or if it's just something along the lines of they just last longer, or they burn brighter and shorter. I don't know. Okay, here's the moment of truth. The very end of the loop. Is it gonna get caught up? Oh, it even slows down there. Look at that, just like me. Oh no! Oh no! Wow! The protocol of sticking to the right side wins the day, and it makes it around without smacking into this thing. I think I might just remove it anyway, at least for now, just so that it's a little bit easier for them. But that's truly excellent. I just want to see if it has anything to load up. Oh, did it leave already? Did it get everything? No way. Did it get everything? Do you have... It did pick up something. Holy crap. High five. It only picked up 73 steel pipes, but really only 73 steel pipes? What happened? 60, 62? I should have picked up more than that. Well, let's go check up on the facility upstairs. I'm curious if we're getting some Nobelisks made now. This is really, really exciting. And we're going to check out our outpost and see if we've got some Nobelisks. That's excellent. I didn't know if it would work or not. I'm so happy that it did. I've never done the vehicle thing. I've always been very intimidated by it. I mean, I still am a bit intimidated by it. Oh, and then, you know what we can also do? Take a look at the versatile frameworks in the upper right-hand corner. We were at about like 250, 252, something like that. It'll be really interesting to see where it's at now. Is it past 300? Like what's going on with that? Because we did not have any steel beams there before. And in theory, it's still dropping off a trickle at 30 per minute over at the space elevator. Let's hop out and then we're going to check. So if we hop out, we now have, I saw it for a second, 468 out of 1,000 versatile framework. That is incredible. So I want to be surprised. We might have to tune those things over and then start on the automated wiring at some point. So let's go ahead and see what we got in here. 15, it's just being thrown out like crazy. What else do we have here? Incoming transfer rate is 22 items per minute. I wonder if it's like an average. So right now we're not uploading or unloading anything here. So it's taking that into account and it's keeping track with the time. And then we're bringing over that 120, but then it's only coming in bursts, and in an averaged, we're only getting 22 items per minute. I don't know. We'll have to double check that a little bit later and see if that smooths out, averages out, changes. But either way, we're getting something, and I consider that some kind of a partial success. So let's head on up and let's take a look at how things are doing up there. There are those pipes, but it does cut off there. But there are the last of the pipes, and they're heading on up. So that's a good sign. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we got going on. And we're seeing that these aren't gated anymore. The powder's flowing. Pipes are coming through. Powder's flowing through. We have a 20% efficiency rate because we're short on steel pipes. And short on steel pipes. Short on steel pipes. Honestly, even if we just had one assembler going, it'd probably be all right. But the important thing is we are getting Nobelisks. I'm curious how many that we have, right? Just close that. I really should put a door or something. Okay. Not that many, if I'm perfectly honest. Not that many. And I just think it's the starvation with the steel pipes. But very cool. Very cool. I still think it's a bit of a success. We'll be able to smooth that out. You know, once we figure out how to get the flow to improve a little bit, then that's going to be pretty nice. And at least with the trickle, we're still getting Nobelisks. Here's the thing. Right now, I have 100 Nobelisks on me, right? And if we scroll on down, you're going to see the Nobelisks. I've got 50 right here. If I pull a stack off like this, then you're going to see movement. See that? Right there. It's sending up and uploading at 30 per minute the Nobelisks that are stored inside. You can see it's 48, 47, so it's draining. And then up here, we should see the upload right there, right? And in our dimensional depot, we're going to see the nobelisks are coming in. So overall, it's working. It's working. It's not at the throughput that I was necessarily expecting, but it works. And for that, I am thankful. Well, we've got all these nobelisks. What are we to do? Well, I would like to also start on the automated wiring. I didn't have that planned for today. Let's take a look at what that requires. I don't remember. Maybe we'll just even like hand feed that one for now. I would like to set something a little bit more formally, but you can see I've just kind of been rushing around and a lot of stuff's been going on. So automated wiring, cables. We got plenty of cables, that's for sure, back at the copper village back there. And then we need stators. We don't have a stator production. How do you make stators? Stators require steel pipes and wires. Ooh, okay. So, well, we are sending all of the steel pipes right now that we are creating here, and it's not that fast. I mean, it's getting backed up. So essentially there's another load of steel pipes. Look at that. Look at her go. That's actually pretty impressive. Oh my god, that's way more than... How many? Did all of a sudden they find some secret stash of steel pipes? Oh my god, wait a minute. Where did that come from? Like, hold up. Okay, there's the end. You can kind of see the tail of it, of the shipment, like that. And then that's that. Wow, that... Actually, I gotta say, that's pretty impressive. They're basically taking all of our steel pipes right now, so we can't do anything consistent with them, right? And as soon as our versatile frameworks are complete, then we can always tune over to the automated wiring. Obviously, it's a little bit better if we can have consistent production of both. So maybe the next thing that we'll work on is the creation of stators. Let's go back to our fancy factory village, and then we'll kind of suss that out, because I think we'll have a better understanding when we see it physically, right? And we'll just kind of park and hold. And here we are. So right now we've got Copper Village down below, and they're creating all of our copper wire, our cables, and our copper sheets. So it's all backed up. There's not really much that we're doing with it, so it's easy enough to just kind of peel off some of the production, and it's no skin off our back, because essentially it's all just sitting here being sunk out because we've got too much, right? So if we just set up some kind of temporary stator production over here, then we're in the right area where we can actually just pipe it towards the space elevator. This used to be where the Caterium production was. I do like it clean here, but, you know, we'll figure out something a little more permanent when we get there. We need steel pipes. We need wire. Now, obviously, the steel pipe is the limitation. If we go over to, let's say, the Foundry... I know we can take steel ingots and combine them with concrete, and we're going to get a good amount of steel pipes. We've got a lot of concrete. It's just a matter of getting more steel, right? One thing we could do, and I was kind of having to think about that. Look at that. You can see them on the map. Oh, that's so cool. That is so cool. What I was actually thinking right now, if we look right here at our steel factory, it is actually producing 120 per minute steel pipes and 60 per minute of the beams. Oh, 60? Maybe I meant 30. I think I meant 30. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 30, not 60. That would be a dream. So if we made this purely about steel pipes, or if we made this purely about beams and turned this into like an encased beam thing, then somewhere else we could make steel pipes. Either way, we would make beams or pipes, and we would just dedicate one facility to one thing and one facility to the other. What I'm thinking is we have so much pure coal up towards, right? It's like right at the very edge. I don't know if you can see it right here. It's right here. There's a bunch of pure coal nodes just on the other side of this tower right there. So if we send that coal down, or we send iron up, then we're going to be able to create some steel. And I think right now, if we look at our iron factory, or starter iron factory, it's still off the Mark 1. So essentially we've got a whole nother like 120 per minute that we can utilize to combine with the coal, right? So if we look at our miner, it's still at 120 per minute. It's still a miner Mark 1. We turn this into a miner Mark 2. We're gonna have another 120 to split off. And this is still gonna run the way that it would. and we'll be able to utilize that iron elsewhere. Upgrade to the miner Mark II. Fortunately, it's pulling automated miners straight from our dimensional depot, so no worries about holding on to that one. We're going to upgrade this to a Mark III because that's going to allow us to pump out the full 240 per minute and still transmit it at its full rate. And then we're going to peel off half at a time because it's going to throttle itself as soon as it gets inside because it's still on a Mark II lift. Which direction do we want to go? If we take the coal and we bring it down, maybe we could have a vehicle pick it up and drive it down. Where would the vehicle go? So pretty much the only way that I can think of is the path we've already established, which is to drop it with a giant lift down below. So fortunately, we already have the means to do so, right? So when it comes to that coal, we are sending 120 per minute down right now. And it's just sitting here. It's not really being utilized fully because, as you can see, it's fully stacked up. So what if we just cut off from here and take some of the fuel? Actually, no. We're already supplying fuel back at the steel factory. We were peeling off 30 coal and then depositing 15 and 15 into the docking station back there. So if we actually look right here, ooh, look, it's a delivery in action. My gosh. And there we go. It's just ripping. Oh, there's barely anything. Oh yeah, there's barely anything. Well, I guess that's it. Either way, glad we sent a little something. We're making some nobelisks. Okay, so you know what? I'm just going to say that we can take this coal. We don't need this to be a fueling station. We can utilize this 120 per minute rate that's already coming down, and we'll just use this to make steel. So I'm going to just maybe peel this off, and we'll see what happens. How about this? We'll go ahead and delete the storage container, and then we're going to stick in an industrial container because it's got 2 outputs, yeah? So we'll place our industrial container. We'll hook this up with a Mark III. I'm going to go ahead and just color it the correct fire, orange and red. And then we're going to loop her around and come on through. And then we'll paint that one up just like so. There we go. So now it's this, right? And we've got a clean throughput. More importantly, we've got this top port, right? Let's go ahead and send up the foundries first. We're going to assume we've got an input of our 120 per minute coal. Maybe off on the side here because I know this is a bit of a dead end, so we're not blocking anything. And then we've got concrete right here, and we'll maybe build like a little bridge or something, and that'll come out to this exact location. So let's build it right here. Clear the zone, and we'll put down some foundations. Now, I do have one blueprint. I did talk about how I was going to use a blueprint, and I haven't gone around to that yet, but I do have one blueprint, and it is the 4x4 foundation that there was a recommendation on the Reddit to do a 4x4 foundation. That's something I've never really tried before. So we've got 4x4 on 1 meter, and we've essentially got a full set. I think the thing that I'm not too used to is I can't hold control and snap it to the world grid. Oh, I'm noticing there's a trouble with the tractor out there. I'll have to get to that another time. What I think I need to do first is actually place a foundation first, right? So let's take a 2 meter as an example, and we'll just place one foundation. And then we'll go ahead and we'll switch on over to the other bar. And now we'll take the blueprint. If we hold control, now it's actually ticking around. Doesn't snap the same way, but it does actually allow us to kind of move things around. If I hit hold and nudge the whole blueprint, I can. So, and that actually lines up with the thing that is lined up with the world grid. So that's kind of nice. So maybe we'll do something like that. The only thing we'd have to do is essentially place the 2 meter foundations right underneath. And then I think from here, I think we should be able to snap. I'm not entirely sure. So if we get rid of this, now we've got this 4x4 on the blueprint. And if I select the blueprint now, I think I can snap around. Is that right? Player in the way. It's not great. Maybe I'm just not used to it yet. It's not great. But, oh, it kind of snapped there. I mean, that's kind of cool. I have to admit, I probably need to get used to it first, but it's a little bit difficult. So I think for now, I'm just to keep things moving, I'm going to go ahead and just manually zoop it, but I think it's going to be very, very helpful, especially when we're doing more complicated like pipe work and stuff like that. I think that's going to be awesome because it's that kind of stuff you're placing on foundations already instead of placing the foundations themselves. Maybe that's like where it really shines. Yeah. So we'll just place another one here, and then we're just going to go ahead and, since we already put it down, we'll go ahead and put the 1 meter on top, and it's just kind of an odd like 3 meter foundation. So we know we're going to need 3 foundries, right? We'll just go like that, and then we'll go 1, 2, and we'll go 3. Great. And the reason why we're doing 3 is because when we set it to steel ingots, then we're going to have 45 in per minute. You've got 3. If you get 2, that's going to be 90. And then you get a third, and that's going to be more than 120, right? So we're actually going to need to feed it. This is going to have to be underclocked to 30. So we want 30 ingots out per minute, and that's going to be 30 and 30 for iron ore and coal. So between these 3, we're handling and outputting 120 of both the raw ore and then the ingots themselves. Excellent. And that should feed appropriately. Now we just need a little bit like a Mark II power pole or something, and then that should handle everything else. We'll just power up all 3 of the foundries from the 1 pole, and then we'll just handle and pipe the outputs. We're going to want to send them downrange down there. So that's kind of where... How do we get them down there? What's the best way to do that? Maybe this is where a truck station will actually come in handy, right? So we can actually make a truck station and then pipe all of this through here and then load the truck station and then receive and then pass the tractor down below. I think that's how we're going to do it. So we'll go ahead and just create a little bit of space for the truck station, probably about maybe 4 wide, because you want a little bit of space, I find, to turn around. We want the box facing forward. So we'll just kind of hold right here and see where we're at. I'll bring that all the way. How are we doing on the right side here? Pretty sure if we hug in, yep, we got a little bit of clearance here. That's great. So now we know the direction of our output. So we'll just have a merger. So we'll flip this. These are for all the ingots. All the ingots, yeah? So we got 1, 2, and merge 3. So this is 120 per minute of ingots. So Mark 3 in, Mark 3 out, just because it's convenient. Otherwise, there's no way we need to use Mark 3s, but it's just so nice. And we actually have some steel flow now. And we're going to straight mode, and we're just going to go ahead and pipe that right in. It's perfect. High five. There we go. All we got to do is provide a little power. We can put it on the pole, and then we just hook up the pole to, let's say, like a power tower or something. Are we close enough to a power tower? We could get that one. That's great. So those all have power now. Yeah. So excellent. So well, let's go ahead and just break off the coal. We know that we're storing it in the industrial storage right now. Does it make sense to bring it on over? Probably not. Grab those nuts. Keep doing that, and then we'll eventually put in some supports, but for the most part it'll just run like this, right? Let's go ahead and extend this just so it's easier to line all these up. There's the 2. Go to default so that we can control that a little better. And now we're staying low. And then we're going to go ahead and pipe on up like that. There we go. Not pretty, but it is what it is. Oh, no, not the concrete yet. It's the ingots, and then the ingots need to be combined with the concrete. Concrete makes the pipes. Oh, right. See, I'm already getting ahead of myself. It's the pipes that we want to pass into the station. It's not the ingots themselves. So we'll actually need another foundry. How many foundries? So we're going to take 120 steel ingots. We're going to need 3 more foundries. So another 3, just like this one, yeah? So do we have enough room to extend this out further into the back here? We could try. This is like super ad hoc. I did not anticipate doing this right now, so I don't know how far we'll get, but... Oh, are we out of biofuel already? Okay, great. Actually, no problem. Guess what? We've got solid biofuel right here. Perfect. We just gotta find a slot. There we go. Now we're cooking with fire. All right, here we go. Excellent. God, Dimensional Depot saves the day once again, right? And then another one and a third. So with the third one, I think we've got everything that we need. That's great. So now this is going to be all of the steel ingots coming in. I guess since it's already on the ground, we might as well stay on the ground, right? So we'll go with our splitters now, and we'll pass this back. So we want to be passing in. Yeah. I'm just want to make sure that I have enough room with the lifts as well. And if we look, we do. We do. Perfect. And then we'll just bring that through. And there we go. Although maybe I will do Mark III straight and send it. There we go. Perfect. So now this is going to send all... When did I put you on my bar? When did we do that? My gosh. You're such a silly guy. Okay, so all the ingots are coming through. We've got 120 coming out. They're piping through. All the ingots are coming in. We'll go molded steel pipe. So we've got 50, and then we'll copy that. We've got another 50 right here, and we're going to want to take 20 in on the molded steel pipe. So I think, what's that going to come out to actually? So is it, if we say 20 per minute, it does pull in 20 steel ingots per minute, so that's perfect. So 50, 50, and 20 is 120, so that'll distribute well. So we've got 12 concrete here. We've got 30 concrete here. So that's 42 plus 30, 72. So we need 72 concrete peeled off of our concrete operation in order to supply this thing and then make all of our steel pipes to pass to the docking station. So we'll go conveyor lift Mark III, and this is for the concrete to pass in. And essentially we're just going to have the arrow face towards where the concrete's coming from, and we'll do a little bit of the same. Mark III through, and we get our Mark III through. Excellent. And the concrete's going to come from here and pass right into this position right here. So we're just going to, I'm just going to do that for now and say that's the entry point for all the concrete. And then we've got our output, and what's going to come out are 120 per minute of steel pipes. And then we just got to route this on straight. And do we have enough? No, not quite there. It's all right. And there it is. High five. So this is where the pipes are going to come down. We just need to get power over to our other foundries. We'll go ahead and power the truck station, and then we'll just power these foundries off of the daisy chain. We got some clipping, so if we do this a little more prettily, is that right? Basically, I'm going to revisit this at some point, but right now I just want to get it working, right? So we've got a bit of a maze going on here, and then finally the output pipes back to the truck station. Now we just got to get the appropriate amount. We need 72. We need 72 concrete, yes? 72 concrete. Currently we're producing 60. So an easy way to remedy the situation is to minor mark to it. We need encased industrial beams though, so I think it's 10 per, if I recall. Actually, one way to check, we'll just go with a minor mark 2 and do 3 like that, and we have everything covered except for the encased industrial beams, and we do need 30. So I think you get the idea. Essentially, we're going to double the output. Currently, we're making 60 concrete. We're going to be able to make 120 concrete, and then at that point, we'll just pipe 90 over and then keep 30. So I am back, and something weird happened. So when I was taking a look at our two tractors, it seemed like one of them was in error, so I kind of swung them by and took a look, and it turns out that the yellow tractor took all the steel pipes that were supposed to be in this blue tractor and threw them into our assemblers. So I'm not too sure what happened there. I fixed the problem in that I was able to dismantle a lot of the belts, take that apart. I just sent the yellow tractor back on its way, and hopefully it's now only carrying steel beams. It actually completely stunted our production for phase 2, so that was unfortunate. I did notice that for some reason in this yellow bay right here, it also had some pipes, and I don't know where that came from. So I'm looking, it also ran out of fuel. Actually, you know what it is? I think I left the solid biofuel in the tractor. It ran out of fuel, and then it didn't have the capability to come back and actually get the coal and load up with coal. So I'm really curious, if I go to the map, there's the tractor. When it comes on back, it still has a solid biofuel in it. I think I'm actually going to pull out this coal right here, let that fill up. And then when the tractor comes back, I'm going to swap out for the coal, because I think that way it's going to be able to fill itself up with coal, because if it's got the solid biofuel in there, What the heck happened? Whoa! Apparently we're entering the new secret level of Satisfactory 1.0. Right now we're in the alien wormhole. That's right. Only the most advanced Satisfactory players can actually be in a wormhole like this one. I actually have no... Wow, what the heck was that? I don't know. Whoa. Oh, well, look. Now that time has passed, all of a sudden the... Oh, wait, what is it doing loading here? That's the problem. Wait. Stop that for a second. Disable autopilot. Did everyone see that? So somehow this one got all mixed up. So let's exit and look what it has inside. It has contraband. It should not have steel pipes. Yes, it definitely should not have steel pipes. So I'm thinking we're going to need to re-record this route and just stay the heck away from that side. Yeah. First of all, out with the solid. Oh, look at that. It filled up. That's excellent. Look at that with the coal. I love that. And we'll go ahead and fill that up as well. So beams is all that you should be having. So what we're going to do is we're going to re-record that that route. That's a little sus. I don't know what I think about that. The other tractor seems to be doing all right. It just didn't have any pipes to send because this one took them. This one took all the pipes. That was why we barely had any flow. It was like 22 per minute because this greedy little tractor decided that it wanted both beams and all of the fanciness. Well, I mean, you can't have everything, right? You can't have everything. We're going to go ahead and come up through the poison out here, taking a bit of the circuitous route on purpose. At least I have a little more confidence in the process now, so I think we just got to stay the heck away from where all the steel pipes are located. I guess that's also another reason why it would be a better solution in the future to actually have the truck stations in two different areas so that that does not happen. And unload. So there we go. Great. And we definitely have enough coal because we had a full stack of coal. It's done. We're going to turn this around. And off we go. And we're going to hug the right. I feel like I'm trying to drive some sort of Gran Turismo or something like that. We just need to make sure we go to the right side and then slow our roll. Go wide and tuck straight in like this. There we go. So we're going to save our path, right? So save the path, and it's going to be steel beam to space elevator. Steel beam to space elevator. Load that path. Enable autopilot. And let's go in and take a look. What do you got? It's got some beams. That's all it's got. Okay, hope for the best. I'm curious, if I get inside, will it drive me there? Or do I have to run behind it? I'm going to try and get inside. Oh my God. Whoops. All right, so driving in this game is dangerous. That's all I got to say. Driving this game. Wow, does it know? Holy crap. Wow, it did not want me to. So don't ride inside. That's not a good idea. This little tractor is a lot stronger than you might think. Holy crap. All right, lesson learned. I'm not going to try and mess with AI any more in the future. I think that was Ada's way of jabbing us one in the gut. Wow, holy crap. There's all kinds of stuff going on here. Well, I will not claim to have mastered this process. I think trains are they're more complicated and they're a lot easier all at the same time. At least you know exactly where they're going to go and you can ride on them. I know that. You can probably ride on these when they autopilot, but I'm not having the best of luck at the moment. Let's put it that way. What if I stand it? Okay, what if I just do this? Yeah, that's a lot better. Look at this. This is way safer. Excellent. I'm just going to ride them like this. I'm going to surf. This is what we call surfing pioneers. Yeah. So all we have are beams right now, so we're not messing things up. Oh my God, we're almost done with a versatile framework. That's crazy. I mean, then at that point we just gotta switch the load pipes into the yellow truck station. But I mean, it's a good education. Obviously we're not going to keep this path, but wow, pretty awesome. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop off and just preview. There's nothing inside. There's nothing inside. Wow, that counts as loading already. Holy crap. So what's the time now, 32 items per minute. We didn't have that many items, to be perfectly honest, and it's actually flowing in. That's amazing. Wow. Okay, so that works a lot better now, and it looks like the versatile framework's flowing. That's great, and we're gonna be done with the versatile framework. So with that out of the way, that was odd. I've done a couple of things on the side just because I had so many steel pipes in the wrong place. I just slammed them into an impromptu stator creation thing because I wasn't going to take all these pipes and take multiple trips to move them somewhere else. They were already right here, so I just basically turned them into a really slow stator assembly right now. So we're going to need the stators anyway in order to make the automated wiring, so that's what's happening right there. Up above, because we are at time now, let's just go ahead and take a look at what I've done, and then we'll pick up next time, and you'll see where we're at, right? It's very ugly. I'm not a big fan of what I have done, and I feel a little bit of shame, but you can see we've basically done a very, very fast and dirty rip right off of the initial miner. It's passing that all up. It's clipping through the roof. It's on the roof. We're handing all the iron ore all the way over this bridge here. And it's a natural one. And then I ran that ore all the way over to our foundries where the concrete is. So that stuff's then being piped into the initial foundries along with the coal to make 120 steel ingots. Those ingots are then being created. They're being passed down the line. It's all merged together and then being combined with all of this concrete at 90 concrete per minute into these 3 foundries for the molded steel pipes. And now we're getting 120 steel pipes per minute out on this 270 per minute belt. And it's all being loaded into the docking station. So Bunnies, thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I think we did quite a lot. It did not go perfectly, and there were issues and there were wobbles, but we're sorting through them. And eventually this will be a smooth running operation. But you know what? We've got it right now, and it's our first dabble with trucks and vehicles, and we'll get there. So hopefully you enjoyed the episode. If you did, please feel free to like, share, comment down below. It helps us a great deal. I had a total blast. I hope you did as well. And I can't wait to get into the next one with you. Have a wonderful, wonderful night.